Hello YouTube, and welcome back to TBA, talking about anime. This episode we're going to be talking about Sword Art Online. How many episodes are we going to talk about?
We said we would watch 14.
Mm-hmm.
That we were going to talk about at least 8.
Right.
Well, let's start with this. Last time we said we disagreed with Sword Art on what a season is.
Right.
And that's because I haven't read them. I guess he's read them.
I read some of them.
Sword Art Online is based on
light novels.
Yeah, light novels.
Rather than a specific manga, like most anime is based off of. Or I would say most. I don't know if there are a lot of animes that aren't based off any manga, and there's manga based off anime, or how that works.
I imagine it goes vice versa, kind of like video games and TV shows and stuff.
So generally the animes are based off mangas, but this one is technically based off a light novel, meaning it's just words, there's no pictures.
Right.
Which is why the pacing and stuff feels a lot less like they're just copying frames from a comic book. Like it actually feels like a real TV show.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Well, because as far as I know, there's only 4 light novels.
I think 4 or 5.
Yeah. The last time I looked, there was 4. And the first 2 light novels are season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So we see the first half of season 1, the first light novel, as season 1.
Mm-hmm.
So that's why we say 14 episodes out of, or I think it's 13. 14 out of the first 25 is season 1, even though 25 is their season.
Right. And sort of spoilery talk, even though I always feel like just saying that it goes up to episode 14 is kind of a spoiler because of what happens, but that's
but
just
if you look at it, you're not going to be like, oh, there's 25 episodes. And then,
well,
I mean,
I could explain that off screen or in a spoiler video that we will discuss probably after this.
I want to.
Yeah, so the first 7 episodes, I think 7, maybe 8, are kind of filler.
I disagree with him.
They're more world building, character development, less plot driving, I would say.
And that's you say for 7.
Mm-hmm.
And I would say 1 and 2 are completely necessary.
Well, yeah,
those are not filler
right.
for me. I mean, those completely explain what's going on,
right?
What needs to happen, and then 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7 are character introductions. You know, they're introducing a lot of characters in those episodes, but it's not slow.
Right. It's
not like normally when I think of filler, it's like, why am I watching this? It has nothing to do with the plot of the story. But I think Sword Art takes filler and makes it part of the show. Especially coming off of not having the comic book style manga to build off of. It's all words. So.
And then one thing that I would say about why I call it filler is because even though it's not necessarily based off a manga, there is also technically a manga version of the light novel, and the light novel and I think even the manga start off about episode 8 or 9, and then episodes 1 through 7 are all told through backstory flashbacks, and they're not actually given as much time, and there's some stuff in those episodes that are just thrown in to help develop and introduce topics that come up later in the episodes. So that's why I call it filler, because it's not technically canon, or it's not technically part of the original source for some of it.
Yeah, the main part of all the episodes, though,
right,
like you said, is told in flashbacks in the story. So they're just taking a flash in the anime. They're taking a flashback and just making it the beginning. They're starting from a flashback and moving forward in time.
Right,
which I appreciate.
Yeah, I think it does a really good job of building up the world, explaining things, and setting up ideas that when they come up later in the more canon story, instead of just like, oh, hey, that's some random idea they just introduced, it's like, no, that's what they were talking about back those few episodes.
Right. And so we started off Zatch Bell talking about style. Because we talked about its mixture of comedy and drama.
Mm-hmm.
So how would you say Sword Art is comedy and drama?
The style is much more drama action with a bit of comedy in there, but not in a cartoony comedy. More of just how the people interact is kind of funny.
Yeah, and see, that's what I liked about it, because, like I said, Zatch Bell, the animational comedy, the over-exaggeration is what threw me off from Zatch Bell, where the drama and action I like in Sword Art, and the comedy it seemed like it was natural. It was a natural flowing comedy. It wasn't overemphasized to try to make it funny. It was just funny. It's an action-packed show, and it starts off like putting you in a situation where you're like, okay, not good stuff is happening here, so we're gonna have to figure this out. As like, if you were one of the people in the show, you'd be like, yeah, this isn't a good thing. Like, why? And
so on that note, the actual plot of this story that we always forget to talk about. Well, not forget, but we delay on talking about.
We do. I think it's because we don't want to spoil too much of stuff.
So the very basic premise from the first episode is there's this new virtual reality game, where I think it's the first virtual reality game, I think, or at least the first of its kind.
Yeah, the first of its kind.
Full immersion virtual reality MMO, where the main character, Kirito, is a beta tester for the game, and that is important. The day that it launches, he and like 10,000 other people, I think it's either 10,000 or 14,000. I think 10,000.
I think it was 10. Yeah, I want to say 10,000.
Yeah, and then like 4,000 of those 10 were like beta testers or something.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. They log into the virtual reality world. They have fun for a while, and then they realize, oh hey, we can't log out, and that's a problem.
Yeah, that's a big problem.
And then,
you can't leave the game.
Yeah, and then the maker of the game appears and calls everyone into the big circle to tell everyone that, oh hey, you can't log out. That's not a bug, that's a feature. And
built it into the game. And
if you die in the game, the virtual reality set that you're wearing is going to fry your brain. Yeah. So you'll die in real life.
So it's one of those, I mean, we've discussed this in the past, because it sounds like a very common thing. If you die in the game, you die in real life. However, saying that's a common thing, I haven't really seen it that much.
Yeah, I could only think of like one or two other things that do something like that.
Yeah, it sounds like a concept that's been used time and time again, but I can't find examples of that. Like, I haven't really seen it. I mean, so it's enjoyable. I like it.
Yeah. And then, of course, the way that they're told they can escape is if someone beats the 100th floor of the castle and essentially beats the game, then everyone goes free. So then there are people that try to beat the game, others that just try to be safe, and all
so
that stuff.
It's one of those things where if you're in that game, you have to decide: are you going to try to be one of these people that level up and beat the game and try to escape, or are you just going to try to survive, live a life like an NPC, and hope someone else wins, hope someone can save you.
Right.
And, and there's different characters that you meet that do different things, and some of them have decided that they're going to do one thing, like they're going to be a blacksmith, and that's what they're going to do. They're not going to go out and fight. They're just going to help, how they can, but they're not going to, I can't think of the words.
They risk their lives on the front line.
They're not going to risk their lives trying to beat a game. They're just going to do what they can to stay alive.
Right.
It's interesting because I want to talk more, but I'm trying not to. Because when it comes to ratings, this is going to rate. We're going to rate this. But it's through the first 7. Like we said, it's character building, world building. You're learning how they interact with the world, how like the hierarchy system works. Because there's no jobs. I mean, like I said, you can be a blacksmith, but they make a point to say there's no job system. Like, people don't have jobs. It's just You either fight or you don't. And it's interesting to see how a hierarchy kind of gets built when because there is a guild system. Yeah. So different guilds are formed. Actually, the main character, I don't think it's a spoiler saying it, the main character doesn't like guilds. He does not want to join a guild. He's a solo player. He was a beta tester, probably the best beta tester.
Yeah.
I mean, you can see that just through the first 2 episodes, that he's the best player in the game, and then it proves that throughout, the first season. And so, our first season. Well, and the first season in general.
Yeah.
But yeah, so it shows that, this is the guy that, no, you don't want to mess with, but he's not there to, mess with you. He's not going to go out of his way to do something. He's trying to beat the game. That's what he has determined is his role, it is my job to win, and that's what I'm going to do. So it's interesting. It's fun. I enjoy it.
Yeah. As far as a rating system, in terms of would I keep watching this, I watched the whole first season in like a day, maybe 2. So I definitely would keep watching it. But funny thing is, now that the second season, like the official second season is out, I'll probably binge watch it sometime. Probably. Like, I'm interested in it.
That's how
I'm not super driven into, I've got to watch it right now.
So it kind of changed. Because how long between, because you binged watched it, how long?
Like, months.
And then it was months until the second season came out. Which it just came out this past fall. Like, it just ended in December, the second season. For me, he was telling me about it. He tried to tell me about this game how many times?
A lot.
And I never watched it. And then I decided, I'm going to watch it. And I did the same thing. I watched it all in one night. I watched the entire first season in one night. And then the next day, I saw that season 2 had started. Like, the next day, literally the next day, the first episode of season 2. So I just kept watching it. I've seen every episode that's come out. I'm waiting for more. Like, I will watch this show with my full attention. That is my highest rating. I will watch the show with full attention. I mean, yes, if I'm doing something else, it's definitely going to be on in the background, but if I really wanted to watch this show, that's what my attention is on. And I'm anxiously waiting for season 3. Between their seasons, there's a difference, and you know the difference between their season 1 and season 2.
Yeah.
And so that's it changes, and that might be why he doesn't really want to watch it.
Kind of, yeah.
So I'll hint on that in a spoiler video, but I will not give anything away.
Right. So on that note, we can kind of wrap up this video, and then we'll be recording a spoiler talk video where we'll just be talking about spoilers and as much as we want. Well, again, because I've only seen the first official season.
I won't spoil the second season in any way. He already knows something about the second season, so that's all I'm going to talk about.
Right.
Because he cares about spoilers.
Yeah,
so
I care about spoilers.
I'm not going to say anything about season 2. We're going to spoil season 1 like crazy, and then we'll talk about season 2.
The official first 25 episodes, season 1.
Yes. Even though, the first 14 we'll probably spend a lot of time on.
Yeah. So then that's going to be it for this episode. Thanks for watching.
Thanks.
Oh wait, we forgot something.
We did.
Next week we plan on watching Log Horizon.
Yes.
How many episodes?
Yeah, I've seen 1.
Yeah.
So you tell me how many I need to watch is what's going on. How many do I need to watch in order to make a good review on this?
I'll say first 5.
First 5. I can
first
do 5.
5 episodes.
I can do 5.
Because this will be
I can do 5. You can do 5.
This will be a first impressions review
for me, definitely.
Well, yeah, for you.
Yeah.
For future reference, each month I would think that 1 review will be a full season, and then 2 or 3 would just be the first few episodes, and then maybe try to work something out for like a different kind of review or something.
Yeah. So I think, that works.
First 5 episodes of Log Horizon. Mine on Crunchyroll. I'll try to remember to put the links in the description. I'm really terrible about that. If I don't, just post a comment and saying, "Oh, hey, where's the link?" And then I'll probably remember then.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We'll do our best.
Mm.
See you later.
Yeah.
Have a good day.
Mm-hmm.
Hug your friends
Okay.
and family.
Uh-huh.
Tell someone you love them today. For watching.
And
Enjoy.
I'll see you next time.
Bye.